Okay. We double check. Start. Okay. Good evening. Here we are. Good evening, everyone. This is Miss Tara D. And welcome. We are some tech issues. Oh, I just looked over. It seems like the YouTube channel is extremely busy and pixelated. So I apologize about that. How is it on your end? Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm a little all over the place tonight. It started out being a really wonderful evening, getting dressed and excited and everything. People went out and up here in New York, so I apologize. We were rushing to get the from Terrier Way. He is also here, and he is helping me with the behind the scenes. Our guest is running late from work, so I apologize. This is Murphy's Law. Anything that could go wrong is going wrong tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to have a beautiful time. No, take them off. He's off. He's off. So, so I apologize for all of this, and I'm sorry that this YouTube is the image is not good. I mean, I don't know what to do. We all have time. Let me see. While we're waiting, let me just say hello to a few people. And please, I can't see the chat, so I apologize. Just learn how to make the words bigger because, you know, I'm blind. I can never see what they write, what you guys all write in chat, especially with the stream. It's like they want to really screw with an old bitch, you know? Bad enough. I could barely walk, and my tits are falling. Now they want to really make it hard for me to read. Okay, so tonight's show is called A Personal Magical Conversation with Mary Grace. Mary Grace is a shero of mine. She's an Italian Canadian whose family migrated to this hemisphere. And I got to watch that because I want to say American, but I think there's a difference between here in the States and the Italian. Are they considered Italian? Ask if she's an Italian American or Italian Canadian. He's a fantastic human being. And I'll show you more book and everything. But tonight's show is really more her and who she is, and a little bit about her books. The reason why it's a little bit about her, because if you go to Essence of the Moon, CELINA done a beautiful book review. So you can just learn more about her books through Essence of the Moons. And CELINA, I think you're here, dear, my little goddaughter. So if you could put the link for your video on your page into the chat, we would appreciate it. Also for tonight, if you have questions, we're not doing readings. If you have questions regarding Italian folk magic for Mary Grace when she comes, write it in caps so he can see it and he'll star it and we'll post them up on the thing here. And you could see right here, and then we could read your questions, okay? Thank you, Thomas. So, while we wait, okay, didn't want to be too long on the next stage because I was afraid to kick us. Oh, thank you, Selena. Thank you, everybody. So please click onto her later on. Now you have to give me all your attention. Click on her link, and you could watch her video. Okay, but while we're let's write people. Okay, so I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top. Just take a look here. So, of course, we have our Maruta, who's one of our moderators tonight. Who's up here? Look who is here.
Hi.
How
I should
are
be
you?
late. You're breaking up quite a lot, Ms. D.
Yeah. Her husband. No, I can't see the iPad. He just came in and he just told me this, and I don't know what to do.
Oh no. Maybe it'll iron itself out.
I hope so.
Talking, writing, is he
No.
writing?
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
No. We could. I have this other program on you. I know. We see how we could do. We try our best. How's that?
Sounds
and
good.
I apologize.
Oh, nothing to apologize for.
The thing tonight is it's okay if you can't see me too good because you're going to do the talking.
I can't hear you though. Like your voice is cutting out.
I'm so bad.
Mamma mia, però come sei bella. No, sei bellissima, guarda. You showed up for both of us. Nice.
All right. So let me see.
Do you want to try to?
You don't hear me at all?
No, it cuts out. It kind of sounds like you're talking to me from the bottom of a tin can.
Oh no. Okay.
Do we want to start over? Maybe turning it on and off again.
Give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
How is this?
Okay, hang on. Let me see. Where are you? Oh, hello, beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're almost there. Let me see. Can you gotta turn that off?
Yes, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah, I had to turn mine off too.
Okay. Ooh. Now, I'm just going to tell my husband to go to the other room and bring me all the things that I put on the table. Thank you, my love.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Okay. So
cominciamo da capo.
Sì, adesso cominciamo da capo e ti dico tutto che abbiamo già fatto, okay? So,
Bene.
We are all in the room, I think. And so I was just telling everyone while we were waiting that tonight we are here to get to know you. that this is a very special day. And I was telling them a little bit. I said, I don't know that she's from Canada, so I don't know, is she Italian Canadian or Italian American?
Oh, you want that story? Nice. I'll tell it.
We definitely want that story. Can you turn off the other? Thank you. Yeah. And then, but before we started, we were just saying hello to a few people in our chat.
Okay.
Also, we have Thomas, who's working behind the scenes. And if anybody we're not doing tarot reading. So if anybody has questions for you about Italian folk magic, about your books, he's going to start them and put them up on the screen so we could see them. So, bene, così.
See.
Okay. And for my friends, you're going to hear a little bit more of my Italian accent because whenever I'm with a paisana or a comadre, as we are tonight, it tends to come out naturally. I don't know why.
It's organic.
It's organic.
It's organic.
So, my dear friends, so we were saying hello. Mary Grace, I want you to meet some of my dearest friends. So we have CELINA, Essence of the Moon. She's the one who did the book review.
Hi, CELINA. Thank you.
Big fan. And she posted a link so people can go and watch your book review because it is an amazing book. And for those of you who do not know, Mary Grace actually wrote 2 books. Italian Folk Magic, which has kind of become my little Bible in this work, kind of like my little grimoire. I added it to it.
Oh,
and Living Folk Magic, which is like, it's kind of like Italian Folk Magic 2.0.
Oh, thank you.
That's how I saw it. You take us to the next level of Italian folk magic. And it's just, but we'll talk more about that. But now, so let's say hi. So we have Warrior Girl. We have Fatima. Fatima is also from Canada. All you Canadians, please let her know that you're by
And let me know where in Canada, because Canada's big, right?
Canada is huge. It's huge. It's bigger than the United States. I know. Welcome, Mango Unicorn. I saw Roman. Who else am I seeing here? Oh, Heather. Happy birthday to Heather.
Happy birthday.
Crone Indigo. Nancy, the Crone's Intuition, who is currently reading your books.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
All these people are reading your books now. Janet, welcome. Ginger Faye, another big fan of yours. All these people already fell in love with you, just so you know. And so, we're going to say hi to more people as we move on. But KL, how are you, my dear? Spirit, Mo, love you. Okay, but I don't want to spend 2 hours saying hello.
I'm so nervous, I can't see anything.
Don't be nervous. Are you kidding me? You look beautiful, first of all.
Oh, thank you. So do you, Kumara. My goodness. Like I said in the backstage there, you showed up for both of us. Que bellezza.
Oh. And so let me start out by saying, I am like a fangirl tonight. I am so, first of all, I am one of your biggest fans. You know that. I love you. I mean, you brought so much magic into my world. I don't even know how to begin to express my gratitude. And I want to cry right now, but I don't want to ruin my makeup because it took my husband 2 hours to get this face done. You know?
I love it.
Thank you. And look, I bought these earrings at the 99-cent store today. They're actually ornaments. And I said, but they go well with my dress. So I bought them and we made earrings. You know, that's what drag queens do. They just
love it.
So I'm a big fangirl. And let me just tell real quick, and then I'm going to have you talk a lot.
Oh, no, you go ahead. I'm good.
So what had happened was, folk magic, as people know on YouTube, for me, it's always just been a part of my life. It's like the air that we breathe. Like
Yeah.
we never think about it. We just did it. And then I saw on
We don't even call it anything.
Va bene, exactly. We don't
Yeah.
call it. There's no word. You don't say, go see the folk magic person, go see this. No, you say, vai vedere, go see the lady. And by the way, people in chat, if we use words that you don't understand, let us know and we'll explain it.
Yeah, tell us to stop because, again, it's organic and we might go a little crazy.
Exactly. And, somebody might say, go see Senora so-and-so. And,
Yeah.
tell her you need this or tell her you got this, and they do what they do, right? And that's how it is. But then on YouTube, I started to see a lot of my friends trying to identify who they were spiritually. Am I a witch? Am I not a witch? Am I this? Am I that? And it just made me curious about this. I wonder what that means for me, Also, and you can talk a little bit about this. I know in the States and maybe globally, there's a movement to take back the word witch. It's a word of empowerment, a celebration, correct?
Yeah.
But the word strega, in Italy, could be a bad word to call somebody a strega.
Well,
here,
yeah.
But here, for some Italian Americans, they've took the word back in a way of empowerment as well.
But
So
if I may,
please.
it seems that also in Italy, the younger generation, right, are also reclaiming the word strega. And and stregoneria and whatever. But when you look at what's coming out of Italy now, it's not what we do.
Mm-mm.
It's a mix of Wicca and traditional witchcraft, and they're with the times, right? We're doing Nona's stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what I was looking at. And I was having a conversation with someone last night because they were using the word strega. I said, you want them, but kind of be careful. And it's hard to have this conversation in writing. So I'm going to explain the way I perceive. And by the way, all my friends, hi, Jane, my dear. Hi, Denise. Tonight's conversation, and I'm going to say from the I perspective. And I'm sure Grace is going to say from her perspective. And no judgment on people who do things differently or believe.
That's right.
You do you, and blessings to you. So I'm just no harm, no foul. So I just want to put that clear because I don't want people to say, oh, but Miss Tara D, I don't agree with you. And it's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I support you.
I agree. I'm sorry, but your practice is your practice. It is personal to you. No one can dictate to you what you're doing or not doing, or whether you're doing it right or no.
Exactly. Now, people, my friends, do you see why I love Mary Grace so much?
Oh my God, stop it.
Do you see that? That's what I love. Because sometimes you talk to people and they get so on their high horse about it got to be this and it's got to be that.
No.
And it's like, oh, shut up.
No, if you connect to something divine, if you connect to magic, I don't care if you do it through a pepperoni pizza, you've connected to magic. You know what I mean? It's I really don't like the gatekeeping about how it's done.
Thank you. I love that. Because that is one of my pet peeves is gatekeeping. When I hear that, I move away.
Well, just what we practice, right, has existed as long as humanity has existed. Did they have the internet? Did they have people on TikTok telling them they were doing it wrong or whatever? No. So what are we doing? No, Please, if you can connect to magic, do it in whatever manner works for you.
Oh, that is, and this is why I fell in love with you. So, because as I was trying to find my what am I, what would I be, what should I be, I ran across your books. And as I was reading it, I felt like I was reading my life story. And the synchronicity that I felt with you, and like just now in the 5 minutes that we're having this conversation, it's like we're speaking the same language.
Yeah.
And I said, this person, she gets it. She gets it. Because I read other stuff out there that I just wasn't clicking with. And it's like, it's not me. It's not me. And it's not with the magic I grew up with or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Like I said, no judgment on what they're doing.
No.
It's just, for me, it wasn't resonating. But when I read you, I was like, oh my gosh, she could have been my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of person that, forget about Canada. She could have been growing up on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx with me.
Allora, so do you want the quick bio? The quick and dirty bio?
Ahead. You go give me your bio. Go ahead.
I was born the only child of Italian immigrants in Bridgeport, Connecticut in 1968. And my parents got divorced in 1972, which was crazy taboo for Italian immigrants. Crazy taboo. Mm-hmm. And I was sent to live with my aunt and uncle in Montreal. I would live with my aunt and uncle in Montreal during the school year, and then I would get shipped back to Connecticut for the summer. So I grew up in both places at the same time. In Montreal, I grew up in a neighborhood called Saint Leonard. It's spelled Saint Leonard, but we said Saint Leonard because we were all the kids of Italian immigrants, and it was primarily settled by. It was a brand new suburb in the early 70s, and it was populated by Italian immigrants. Mm. I went to school at schools that it would it's insane when I talk about it. My grade school, my high school, we were 90% the children of Italian immigrants. Imagine my high school, we were I think we were 600 students that graduated, and probably 95% of us were the children of Italian immigrants. That's outrageously insane. When we went to the corner store, to buy cigarettes or whatever, mm-hmm. The owner behind the counter spoke to us in Italian in whatever dialect they were from.
Yes.
The supermarket was the same thing. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, everybody was an Italian immigrant. And we grew up speaking English, French, and Italian. So that's the quick and dirty bio. That's why I have a weird muddled accent.
But let me ask you about your bio. Now, how do you pronounce your last name?
Fahrun. It rhymes with Sharon.
Okay, because I felt so bad. I did a video and I was talking about you in the video, and I couldn't get your name.
Don't feel bad. It's a German surname. It could be pronounced Fahrun or Fahrun in English.
Okay. So now let me ask you.
Dimmi.
What was your journey from a little girl into the world of magic? When I know for us, it's part of our life and our culture.
We don't even know we're in it.
Say that again?
Mr. O.D., I didn't even know I was in it. I didn't even know I was in it until I was 30 years old. I didn't know I was in it. Because it was just the way we lived, right? It was the people that I grew up with, the people that raised me, my community. It was all just part of our culture and our religion. Nobody's talking about I didn't know it was not different, but I didn't know it was magic until I was around. I was almost 30, and all the elders are starting to die. Basically, like, so I got in my head. I needed to get these recipes, tarali, mustacholi, all these things, because God forbid, I didn't want to lose these recipes.
Right.
And that's where my first book came from. So I went and I visited everybody, or I phoned them up or called them up on the phone, asking them for their recipes. Every time I asked for a recipe, it devolved into some kind of witchcraft story. Always. Always. And at that time, I was doing what everybody else was doing in the 90s, right? I was reading Scott Cunningham. I was, you know what I mean? I wasn't, going to the metaphysical shop. I was reading tarot at the time. By the time it was the mid 90s, I was reading at a local metaphysical shop. I was reading tarot. And I was totally into the witchcraft of that time. This is why I don't judge. I don't judge. We all start somewhere. I grew up in this environment, and I started with my first spell was given to me by my Cuban neighbor who practiced Santeria. The first spell I ever cast, she was the spell that she gave me, and it's in my book, Living Folk Magic. The onion spell. Probably everybody who knows anything knows that spell. We were very, very preoccupied to find out who we were going to marry. You know what I mean? Like when we were teenagers, it was crazy.
I think that's why most people are drawn to magic. It's about it's always about a relationship.
Always.
Either that or somebody's breaking your balls and you want to get
Yeah, exactly.
It's either love or hate.
Yeah.
So continue. Tell me more. So go ahead.
So I was collecting these recipes, which my focus, my goal was to collect these recipes, the pizza and all this stuff that I wanted, because I was going to eventually, leave that city. I was getting ready to depart, to move on. I was moving to Toronto, and I wanted the recipes because I wanted to take something of home with me. And I was afraid of, this stuff was going to be lost, right? Because, Kumara and Zia and everybody, they were dropping like flies, man. Yes. It's the year that my father died, I lost an aunt and an uncle as well. So it was, like we say in French, I was pressé to get this information. I was rushed. Like I was like, I had to get this information. And here I am. At that time, I was practicing, I guess, some kind of witchcraft. I don't know what it was called. I was, whatever it was, whatever spells I picked up at the metaphysical shop, whatever books I was reading, right? This is the mid 90s, and then I start hearing all these freaking stories about witchcraft in my own community that I didn't even notice was going on. Because again, boiled frog, we're immersed in it. It's just part of life. It's just what we do.
Right.
And like what do you even, like, there was no name for it. It was the things we do. I would ask them and say, well, ma cosa è questo? Ma per piacere, queste sono le cose che facciamo. There was no name for it, right?
Exactly.
And it was when I left my community, and isn't this interesting? I always like roll my eyes at myself. It's when I left my community that I then realized what I lost, that I then started to go back and learn about the things we do.
Yes.
You see, so it's not, like when, over the years, a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, you're so lucky. You grew up in that environment. It was like, and it's like, oh, no, it's not. It's one, you have to have an awareness of what's going on, which I didn't. And secondly, I could tell a story about, something that went down, like I do in my books or I do on my YouTube channel. But anyone who grew up, anyone who was raised by immigrants,
Mhm.
it's harsh.
It's yes. But the thing is, we don't know until later how harsh it really was.
No.
We were having this story over Thanksgiving, my brothers and I with the kids, and we were telling them about how our mother would just leave us and go to work. And there I was, 11 years old, having to clean a house and feed my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But nowadays they would call child protection, but back then that's what everybody did.
Can men get child protection for us? Oh my God.
There wasn't a sense, you didn't realize how poor you were because everybody was in the same boat.
Yeah, that's right. And
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I'm listening.
No, it's okay. It was a thought that came in and I don't know where it went.
So once you started to collect these recipes, once you started to really be more mindful, okay, because that's how I feel I've been. It's like I've done magic, but now I really feel that I'm being more mindful in what I do, more intentional. How did you get to that point, and how did it elevate your spirituality and your magic?
So this is where profession crosses into magical practice.
Okay,
I'm
I
a
was
health-
a professional prostitute, so I don't know what profession.
Well, maybe you'll see there's transferable skills. As a healthcare, so I'm a healthcare professional and trained observer. We analyze data, we collect data, we analyze it, we implement changes, and that transferred over to magic.
Okay.
Here I was, I started, I was doing spells. I had no idea what I was doing. It's like, oh my God, I'm reading a spell in a book, or the metaphysical shop sells me some candles, some herbs, and they say, here, do this, some oils. I do this. And when I got a result, when I didn't get a result, I had already taken note of what I did, and I would study it, and I would study. It's like, why didn't this work? Because I started from the beginning believing it was going to work. Okay. I have suspension of disbelief 100% when it comes to when I do a working. Everything else in life, I'm super skeptical. But anyway, when something worked, or when you see, oh, that was a nice coincidence. Oh, that worked out really well. I would go and reverse engineer what I did to see, well, what was different this time. So this is how I started to piece together the difference between when I cast this. I'll use spell as an example. When I cast a spell and I didn't get a result versus when I cast a spell and I did. And it had nothing to do with expertise. It had nothing to, you know what I mean? It was sometimes, it really is the spirits that respond, because I'm a believer that it's spirits that assist us with magic.
Very much so.
Okay. Yes. The spirits, when we form the question correctly, when we give the spirits a clear indication of what we need, that's when I started to notice that, oh shit, they're literal. So they're literal. If I omit something, it's not going to be part of the result. If I include, if I make sure to remove something that I don't want to be part of the equation, it's going to be part of the result. I'll give the example. On my website, there's this ancient, I call it ancient because it's 20 years old, like this spell, the right relationship spell. And for the right relationship spell, the instructions are very simple. You need to make a list of what you're looking for in a relationship, and you have to make sure that you don't leave anything out, which is why you have to go back and you got to refine it a couple of times. If you say you want someone tall, dark, and handsome, but you forget to mention you want someone that is honest, you meet tall, dark, and handsome who's a murderer.
True.
This is how I learned magic, Miss Tarot.
Yes. It's like all those stories they tell us about when you meet the genie and you make a wish.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But this is how I learned magic. There was the books, they were books in the library that I would find them at the public library because, to your point, poor. You know what I mean? It's like we can't go. We didn't have Amazon. First of all, we went to the public library and whatever we could find. So I was fortunate enough to have been raised in an environment where I was trilingual, so I could go to a library and read books in French and read books and muddle my way badly through Spanish and and English and Italian books and all that stuff. I still have the first Italian witchcraft book I ever bought. It's scary shit, man. Like it's it's from the 80s, and who knows where this guy got all his information. But anyway, this is how I learned, man. Trial, error, and quanticazzi. Oh my God.
But I think through that trial and error, for instance, I just did a video the other day about making salves, right?
Mm-hmm. I watched that.
Oh,
I love your videos. Can I stop and say something nice to you?
Yeah.
I want to say something. I've had a really rough year. I had a lot of loss. I lost my kuma. I lost my mentor. I lost another dear friend, a sorella in the craft. And I watch your videos all year, and you have this presence that is just love. It comes through your voice. It comes through your gestures. It comes through your beautiful face. And you've done a lot for me this year, Ms. Tarodi. You've done a lot. I can't even thank you enough. So yeah, I watched your salve. Your I don't even know how to pronounce that. Salve. Is it maybe the L is silent? Salve.
Salve. But
Unguent.
But I was learning from my friend Joey, Vale Cottage Witch, beautiful person, by the way, and different people. And I wanted to make the video because I wanted people to see that when you do magic, you got to have fun. And it's okay to make mistakes. And it doesn't
exactly. The way you presented it, first of all, it turned out beautifully, but you did make me feel like, me too, I can go in my kitchen now and try to whip this stuff up.
Yes. Because sometimes I think people are afraid to explore their folk magicness, their spirituality, their gifts, because they put too much self-judgment. I have to be this. And like you used the word earlier, gatekeeping. There's a thing, especially in the Italian community, where, oh no, only certain people can do il malocchio, oh, take it off, or only certain people can do this. And you can only learn it during different parts of the year.
Oh, please.
And you have to put one leg over your head, and you got to jump 3 times. And then people get nervous, and they're like, well, no, I'm interested, but I can't, or the rules, or this and that. I remember when people were talking about reading tarot. Oh, you can't buy your own tarot deck. Somebody's got to give it to you. You could buy it on Amazon, I think some of that got put out there just so that people wouldn't steal tarot decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a way to
Yeah,
keep
I
it.
don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Because that too, when we were growing up, like, like in the 60s and 70s or whatever, right? Um, the thing was you had to steal their tarot deck. See
Yes.
that? So yeah, it's like when you said maybe they did the whole give so that people stop stealing.
Stop stealing.
There's two things I want to touch on: the
Yes.
Malocchio thing, and yeah, let's touch on no, especially the Malocchio thing. And this is for everybody watching today. Okay, I understand in my community. When I say my community, I mean my Italian community where I came from, that there's this gatekeeping about and where, like even in diaspora and like, there's this gatekeeping about who can remove the malocchio, when you could learn it. So I'm going to tell you how I learned, and I'm going to tell you that I remove it like a hot damn. All right, I could do it from a distance. I don't even need to see you. I could do it via text. You know what I mean? And I was taught, and this is because I was taught by people that weren't gatekeepers. Okay. My grandmother's sister was in Southbridge, Massachusetts. She was in a nursing home. She was dying. She wanted me to go visit her. I was 16 years old. I walked in there and she said, "Yeah, okay, you know what? Me, I'm done. Now you can remove the malacca. This is what you do." And she said, "You take the bowl of water, you do the oil, you do the incantation. What's the incantation? Whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter. What you need to understand is what the malocchio is. It's a bad film on a person, or it's a bad fog on a person. And if you can understand that, all you need to do is break up that fog, whatever incantation you want." So she scrawled something on a piece of paper and she gave me the one that my grandmother used, which was the one that's in Italian folk magic. In my latest book, I broke it down so you could use whatever spirit you want, like the whole how you remove the malocchio. To this day, as much as this is how I learned, I will still run into people who say, "Oh no, see, you have to learn. It has to be on Christmas Eve. It has to be passed down from the matriarch to a daughter." And there's all these obstacles. No, seriously, you just need to understand what malocchio is, and like any spell, if you understand how the mechanism of it, you then know how to unravel it. And just do it. Try. Cazzo. I've had it. I've had it with the only special people. You can only learn it under special circumstances. No.
No. And I can understand that. And for me, people create rules for a particular reason.
Yeah.
And when I try to unravel why is that rule around the malocchio,
Yeah.
and it kind of makes sense
I know.
because it gave power back to women.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of these villages, they were still very patriarchal. And, and women had their roles and men had their roles, and the men can go to the bars and do whatever, and women had to stay in the house. And being able to do things like the malocchio and other things, it gave women a sense of power.
Certainly, there's that. There's also the fact that it's passed down by a matriarch to a daughter. It's definitely, there's that involved, right? For sure, it's to exclude men.
Yes.
But also, there's the so in my community, the people who did this kind of stuff, they were feared.
Yes.
And that is another reason why you would want to do that, because you want people to fear you. Because if you're afraid and if you feel vulnerable, it's a perfect way to defend yourself without doing anything, is to have people fear you.
Yes.
So there's that. But also there's a very romantic reason why on Christmas Eve. It's because, and I'm going to tell you the one story that I was told to me that I thought was it has to be on Christmas Eve before midnight. And it has to be before Jesus is born, because you don't want Jesus to see that you're doing this kind of stuff.
Oh, I've never heard that. Did you put that in your book? I might have missed it.
I don't know. I probably not.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
So there's that. You don't want, also, because, and interestingly, think about a community where everybody's at midnight mass on the 24th. And they're scanning the pews, and they see who's missing. That community knows who the witch is, because she's not at mass.
That's right.
But then a couple of pews down, someone of Sicilian heritage, or someone who is Sicilian, is cursing their freaking neighbors on at the same mass. That's in my book. Where they're using a puppet and they're cursing whoever it is they want to curse, while the priest is celebrating midnight mass.
But to me it's because, okay, so everybody knows, in case you haven't figured out, I'm a man in a dress.
I'm shocked I am.
But to me, and a lot of my friends are studying this, and we're doing this, and they do VRs about it, or RVs, one of the things, about the intersectionality of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And in a way, I feel like that's who I am. I'm the intersectionality of both. And I think that's what we all try to do. We're all trying to become the yin and the yang, because once you get to that yin and the yang, that really helps you in the creation and the manifestation. So to me, it's like, even though I was born male, I have this female side of me. So why don't I have a right to learn these spells and these things? And so too, spirit is gender non-binary.
So here's the interesting thing. When it comes to and this is where you can't label things. It's impossible.
Exactly.
So you have this Magliocco thing, right? And it's very feminine. It's, but also when it comes to witchcraft, oh my God, what's stregoneria? Okay, not magia operativa, not magia popolare, which is what this is, folk magic or practical magic or sympathetic magic. When it comes to proper sorcery, that is the domain of the men in the Italian culture.
Yeah.
Okay, il mago is usually, some dude who sold his soul to a demon or something like that, or made a pact with a demon. And so the two do coexist in our community, but let's put it this way: the nonne, the ladies, they figured out how to how to hide in plain sight. Everybody knew who the mago was.
That's right.
Not everybody knew who the guaritrice was, or who, you know what I mean? Like,
so tell our friends what that is, the guaritrice.
Guaritrice is the actual word that Italians would use. And when I say Italians, please bear in mind that I am 57 years old, and the people I'm talking about, like my parents were born in the 30s, my grandparents were born at the late 1800s. So when I say Italian, I'm talking like old. I'm not talking about people that are in Italy today.
Yes.
I'm talking about, like, we're time traveling here a little bit. Guaritrice is the Italian word for a female healer. And it is, guaritrice. Levatrice is a midwife. And so someone would say, oh, you know what? So my paternal grandmother was a guaritrice. And basically it's like I'm named after her. People would say, oh, go see Grazie. That's Graziella, like shortened. Go see Razzia and have your cards done. Go see the healer to have your cards done means more than just go see the healer and have your cards done. It means like, there's the full service, right? To check, to see, and to do, and whatever. You have to curse and all that stuff. So it's so there's no labeling. There's no way. It can't be. You can't put this stuff in boxes. You can't label this stuff. You can't you'll drive yourself crazy trying to label what you do. I don't label what I do. I don't call myself anything. Here, call me Grace. Other people call me something.
Yes.
Other people call me whatever they want to call me. I don't call myself anything.
If I told you what people call me, they might kick me off YouTube. I've been a witch, but started with a B. All these things. But you're so right. You're so right. And I think, and that's true why I started in my exploration of trying to figure out identities and labeling. And then everybody knows this. Through the last 3 years, I've been dealing with my cancer. And
see, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So that's
a full-time job. That's a full-time job in and of itself.
It is. But the first year, the hardest part, I tell people, was learning to find a new identity, because I used to do 150%, and I did this and I did that, and then the world stopped. And then I learned I can't do that anymore. I can only do 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Even YouTube, I used to be on more, and now everybody knows. It's like, well, when I have the energy, I will come on, or I will be on your live, But this whole aspect of trying to identify who I am, and not so much, and what I've learned the most is, for me, I just like the generic term folk magic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just suits me. For me, it's the magic of the people. I don't have to take all these special classes and move to certain levels. Once again, everybody, it's okay if that's what you're for and what you do. I'm no judgment. But for me, I'm an old broad. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, same.
And I'm not too smart. I'm not Mary Grace. I'm not too smart. So I need it simple, I need it simple. Somebody said to me, does a spell have to rhyme? I said, I can't put two sentences together. Now you want me to make it rhyme.
So I feel really awkward speaking out loud when I'm doing anything magical. So I would say no. I would answer that question. No, I don't make anything rhyme, and be honest, I don't even speak it aloud.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but for me, it's like you. I'm a very direct person. I'm a very direct. People know I'm very direct. I don't pull punches. If I got to tell you something, I'm gonna say it. So now, when I talk to my spirit guides and my ancestors and my angels, for me, I need to be very direct and very straightforward. And if I have to sit there and worry about, creating a haiku in order to communicate with you, then I'm not going to want to talk to you.
See, I think it's really cool for people that can do that. And my fantasy self can do that. Mm-hmm. But no, like you, it's like I pick up the phone and I ask them for what I need. And
yeah. So that's Bobby, Wild Raven Tara.
Hi, Bobby.
He's a hot mess. Just so you know.
Nice to meet you.
Everybody loves Bobby, just so you know. And him and Selena are BFFs, and they do a wonderful show every Thursday night if you ever have time.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out
Yes,
then.
he's wonderful. But yes, but yeah, like he said, you know, for some people it's a way to focus, but it's also some people just don't talk; they just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, how are you doing with the time? Are you okay?
I'm doing okay. You?
You want to go? I'm good. You want to go a little more?
Oh, let's go. Let's do it. We're here. Come on. You
See,
got all
this is-
dressed up. Let's stick around
I-
for a little bit. Madon.
This is all dressed up and nowhere to go.
Hmm.
And I had a beautiful background.
Saturday night.
It's I had a whole beautiful background. It looked like the streets of Italy. And then I was like, okay. But you know what? This is good. But yeah, so I want to show you, because for those of you who are talking about asking questions about the Magliocco, things like that. So this-
Yes.
do you want
Classic.
to tell them what this is?
This is a classic corno. And usually it's a keychain. Usually it hangs off the rear view mirror of people's cars. Interesting thing about this. Okay. Again, everybody could do what they want, but that is a very male amulet
Yes.
because it is primarily to protect men from becoming cuckolds and to protect their potency. This is what that amulet is for. Now, it has become very popular for everybody to wear it, for, to keep away the Magliocco, but that had a very, very specific origin.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the cornicello or the corno.
And then I had it, but I lost it. So I guess it served its purpose. So I had la corne.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell people what this is when they see this?
This is mano cornuta.
Mhm.
So la mano is the hand, even though it ends with the letter O, is a feminine, is the female. It's a female gendered word. Does that even make sense? Okay. In Italian, it's la mano. In French, it's la main. In English, we don't care.
Oh, now you're showing off with the French.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I might as well use it a little bit. Okay. So this is what you do to send the evil eye back.
That's right.
It's also what you do to send it to someone. It's basically mano cornuta. It means you have the horned hand is what it translates to.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a blessing. It could be used for blessing, for cursing, and for dispelling or for inflicting. It's like chow, only it's the hands.
It's the hand. It's used. And when you give it back, do you also spit on the ground?
But yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're giving it back, because you have to do the poop, that is universal. Every culture that believes in the evil eye, I love it.
They do it. They do it.
Just like if we were, I can't. So I have to touch the screen, right? When I complimented you, not to give you the Magliocco.
Yes.
If we were in the same room, I would have to touch you.
That's right.
So that's why I don't know if anybody noticed, but when I was I was doing this on Miss Terodi.
And it's interesting because here in the Americans don't really know that. So what'll happen is if I see a baby, like a friend of mine will show up with the baby, and I'm like, oh my God, how beautiful! And then I always have to say, is it okay if I touched your foot?
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to assume, because some people get funny about touching their babies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to touch them so I don't give them the evil eye.
Yeah.
Accidentally. So it's funny. See, and this is things, thank God I'm talking to you, because these are things that only maybe another Italian who grew up like this understands.
Well, it's, even though there's a lot being talked about on the internet about our culture and our magical practices, there's a lot that's, there's a lot of obscure stuff that is out there. And I Okay, I guess it's cool. But I think that's cool. But also there's these little things that are lost in the translation, or that are every culture is like this, right? When there's any kind of cultural practice or tradition or superstition, the cultural piece is very important. And in that case, this, when you compliment, you either have, you have to either touch what you complimented the person. And again, you have to explain to them, I'm sorry, but you don't have to explain it to them. You just say, is it all right if I touch your baby? And it's like, but also there's the, like, you have to understand where, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like it's like there's these like nuances.
It's nuances, exactly.
These nuances, like you said, that only another Italian would understand, because they're like really nuances.
By the way, Bobby, everybody's pulling out their mirror and we're scouring you so we can see you naked in the shower while you're listening to us. Okay? And I hope you're using warm water, because if it's going to be quite embarrassing for you if you got the cold water in the shower.
Oh, yeah. Shrinkage.
Shrinkage.
Significant shrinkage.
Might to say mala. Oh my God. You didn't think it was going to be that kind of show, did you?
Oh my
She's
gosh.
like, okay, I'm going to go and get interviewed again about my book. She didn't know. It's all going to be laughs and giggles.
Oh, no. This is way more fun. I don't know. Are people asking questions? Because I can't see.
Okay.
I don't see anything.
So here's one. I know, me too, with my eyesight. So
Yeah.
Heather says, how do you separate superstition from true folk magic, if that makes sense? Yes.
Okay. No, see, superstition and folk magic are the same thing. See, superstition. So our ancestors. I'll talk about my parents. Okay, my parents' generation. Superstition is what they would call folk magic.
Mm.
So if they called it anything at all, it was superstitions.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who believed that people did this kind of stuff, but they didn't do anything, they would say, I'm a little superstitious. Non è vero, ma ci credo. You know what I mean? It's not true. It's not true. It's not real, but I believe it.
Yes.
Then there's people that are superstitious. They believe in this. They believe in the folk magic and this the what causes bad luck, what causes good luck, and all that stuff. And and they would say, oh, I'm superstitious. Superstitious means that they read cards and they believe in the Magliocco, and they potentially even put the Magliocco on their neighbors and whatever, right? And their sister-in-law or whatever. And then there's the people that describe themselves as molto superstizioso. This was my father. He was molto superstizioso because he used to dabble in stuff that was darker. So, so you can't separate the superstition from the folk magic. Folk magic really is a term that is a modern term for what all this is. But if you want to go to what it used to be called before, just superstition is the word that comes closest to it. Superstition, and then beyond superstition, then it's just flat out sorcery, and
Yes. Yes. So let me ask you, because we had you don't put the bread upside down.
No.
Because that means you'll go hungry.
You'll go hungry. That's disrespect. You're disrespecting the bread, because the bread rises up, right? If you put it upside down, you have the part that rises going down, and it has nowhere to go on the table. I'm losing my English.
I lost my Italian, so don't worry. And then you don't invite 13 people to your dinner.
No, because one of them is going to be Judas.
Okay. How about
Disgraziat.
Disgraziato. And how about you with the forks and the knives? Did you do that? If you
What?
drop the fork and the knife?
Yeah, if you drop a fork, it's a woman. If you drop a knife, it's a man.
Yes.
I have to ask you, what
Yes.
if you drop a spoon?
They're probably gay.
And you know, in my house, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Ho capito.
It was true. Nobody ever talked about the spoon, right? They
Oh
always-
my gosh, that makes sense now. Okay. Why they didn't
But,
talk about it and why succede molto.
One of the things that my mother always used to get upset about, 3 people cannot make a bed.
No.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I carried that into nursing school.
Interesting, right?
So here I am, the Italian girl in the we're first semester of nursing and we're learning how to make a bed and we're in groups of 3 and stuff like that. And I was like, no, only 2 of us at a time can do it.
Yes.
So
And then, let me ask you,
yeah.
because I'm old, so I don't know. In growing up, the Italian, so okay, just so you know, I come from Sardinia. In Sardinia, we have a language. So
Yeah.
what happened was,
Yeah,
And you
and I just want to point out, guys, where Ms. Terodi is from, the magic is like there is a lot of magic. There's 2 witchcraft museums. There's so much lore. There's so much. It's steeped in magic, Sardinia.
and it's hard to learn because everything is in sardo. That's the problem. It's very hard. I just finished reading is it Sabina
Magliocco?
Magliocco?
Sabina, yeah.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
There isn't much. And even when I ask my relatives, they kind of, well, your aunt did this, your other aunt did this, and your aunt did this.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find anything. So what happened was, just so you know, when we came to this country in the 70s, we were the only Sardinians around. Everybody else came from the mainland. Because in New York, there was a big migration.
Yeah.
So when we went to school, all the teachers were also Italian. But they told my mother, they said, you got to stop teaching Sardinian to your children because they can't understand the other kids. And so we stopped learning sardo. And then we lost the Italian because we had to learn the English.
This is the part that breaks my heart for all my American cousins. It breaks my heart because I have cousins who grew up in America of my generation who do not even speak our dialect, who do not even speak, you know what I mean? Nothing at all. I was so fortunate to grow up in Canada because in Canada it was all about maintaining the cultural identity.
Yes.
But whereas it was Canada was calling itself a mosaic. It was maintaining your cultural identity while being Canadian, whereas America is the melting pot. But it's freaking heartbreaking because of my cousins. I'm the only one who is fluent. Okay. Yeah. Fluent for someone who has no one to talk to anymore. But you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm still fluent. I could read and watch stuff, right? But that breaks my heart that your parents were told, stop teaching them Sardinian because
and then stop teaching us Italian because
they have
to learn English. But we use the word scarogna. Do you use that word?
Si.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for people, that scarogna means bad luck.
Yeah. It could also mean it's what is it, carrion? I think it's scarogna is also roadkill.
Really? Well, I could see that if you're roadkill, that's pretty much bad luck,
Yeah, the bad luck already hit you if you're Scaroni. Oh my God.
But I remember when things would happen, like even like if my mother was alive and everything that happened tonight with the internet and with this and with that, and she would say, somebody, qualcuno ti ha fatto la scaronia. Someone has done almost like the bad luck to you.
Yeah.
You know?
My Neapolitan family would say, qualcuno t'ha piata a occhio. T'hanno piata a occhio. They took you by the eye.
Yeah.
or they've got their eye on you, kind of thing. T'hanno piata a occhio.
So, guys in chat, I've been trying to pop up. So, do you have questions? I think it was the fabled witch, Bridget. I think she asked a question about, I think it was her. Do you read with Scopa cards? And for those of you who don't know what Scopa cards look like, those are the Italian cards. And they kind of look like this. And they go up to the number 7. And then they have what they call like the knave, and then the knight, or the horse, il cavallo, cavalle, and then they have the king.
Mr. O.D., we do a couple of these lives, you and me, and we're going to be fluent again.
I love that.
just practicing back and forth.
Practicing.
Okay, so my lovely husband brought over some of the questions that he wrote down, and I think it's this one. Do you recommend doing readings with Scopa cards? And you're showing the.
You have a producer with you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
My lovely producer. Yes.
Yes, that's what I call my husband, my producer. Everybody knows Hector.
So, okay, for me, I started when I was a little kid reading with those cards with the carte napoletane, and if they're the Napoletana variety, they're called Napoletane. If you have the Sicilian variety, I think Sardinia has also their own branded, or like the art is geared, not geared,
a little bit more towards the Spaniard.
Exactly, but it would be carte sarde, what I mean, and then there's carte napoletane, carte siciliana, and they're all a decks of 40, just like Mr. O.D. showed, where it's 1 to 7, and then it's the lady, the knight, and the king. Do I recommend reading with those? They're not my favorite. They're not my favorite. They were the first cards I learned to read with when I was a kid. And when you're reading with Scopa cards, when you're reading with those cards, so it all depends on how you view card reading. See, where I come from, card reading is part cards, part psychic. Like it's it's cards for show, and it's all psychic. So what I'm trying to say is that they're not my favorite, like visually. Like if I had to learn them today, no. I even tried using them recently, and I don't like them. I don't recommend them if you're starting out, unless you feel like you hold them and it's magic and they speak to you. Please, by all means. By all means. I think I put meanings in my first book. I put the meanings. You could find other meanings online. We live in this incredible age. Mamma mia. It's like you look stuff up on the internet. Although, attenzione, because now with AI, it's all fucking bullshit. I made it. Anyone who's here who watches me on my own channel must be shocked I made it this long without dropping the F-bomb.
Oh, if Bobby was here, he would say what? Bobby says the F-bomb about 100 times in less.
My God.
So you're in perfect company.
Me, it's the Napoletan. Every second word is something rude and obnoxious. But anyway, so yeah, I don't. So do I recommend doing readings with the Scopa decks? Yeah, if they call to you, if they feel magic to you. Me, I went from those then to playing cards, and I was and when I look at what I was taught in terms of how to read the playing cards, the first way I was taught was basically le normand, because we would pull out all the extra cards and we were just reading with 32 or something like that. I don't know, so because I don't like that way. But anyway, and I read like that for 10 years. So I got my first tarot deck. It was a Rider-Waite deck. I was 18, 1986. But wait, I was 18. So just to show that I've read with 3 different decks by the time I was 18 years old. I suggest you try different things to see what works for you, right? Because I don't know. Again, like maybe they're magic for you. Do it. But if they're not, don't feel like it's a you problem.
Right.
See, this is the thing I don't like. When someone says, "Oh my God, I'm trying to learn how to read these cards and it's not getting in my head. I don't, I can't learn this." No, they're just not the right. It's not the right tool.
Yes. I so agree with you. I've been part of my ancestral work is I said, let me try to learn how to read the scope of cards, right? And I'll show you the cards I was showing you. I put like the little cliff notes in the back.
Oh, excellent.
I even made little like on the thing where I put it, and then I write keywords, and then when I'm on the bus, I just, just
my God, that is like so freaking cute.
And it was part of my, and I'm doing it as part of my ancestral work. But what if you came to me for a reading? I would not read with those. I have specific decks, and everybody knows that I use, that call me, that I have a very strong relationship with, that I read with you, for you. Because when I read for someone, it's about them.
Yeah.
And I want to have an open airway. I don't know what word to use.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want any barriers and challenges inhibiting that process.
Yeah, when I agree. When I read for other people, I pick up the deck that practically reads itself for other people. Doesn't read for me, but reads like a hot damn for other people because it's not about me.
That's
But going back to that's really cute. I love what you did with the Italian cards. Those were the first cards I learned how to read. Ask me if I could read them now.
probably not.
No. I look at them, I see nothing. So, playing cards, same thing. The second modality I learned, right? The second tool I learned. Now I look, they frustrate me. They frustrate me because I have like you said, like a really strong connection and bond with the tarot deck that I use. I swear that thing reads itself. I just show up to talk.
Yes.
Because the images do. It's very clear.
So I'm just being mindful. It's around 8:30ish, 8:21, whatever, right? And I do want to, before I think we should end by 9:00, just because people get tired of listening to us talk, I think. But there's something I really, during the next half hour, I want to talk about, and that is, because you're like me, the belief that spirit lives in everything. And I saw that in your second book. You talk a lot about that. In all aspects of nature, in all aspects of beings, and how you move through the world, if I can say that, in presence and mindfulness and respect of spirit in these different things. Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that, how you came to that, what that means for you?
I think it wasn't something that I started to do. It was something that I realized I've always done. And when I say what I'm going to say, I think everyone watching is probably going to say, oh, yeah. When we are children and we're playing, everything is alive. The toys are alive, the rocks are alive, the water's alive, everything is alive. And we sadly, it's not that we're taught, but it's not promoted as we get older, right? So as children, everything is alive, and our dolls are alive. We interact with animals on a telepathic level when we're children. Ask any 4-year-old and they'll tell you that the dog is asking for what the dog is asking for. You know what I mean? And as children, we're connected and we see that everything is, we see that the world is enchanted, inspirited. Everything is. And we lose that. We just lose that. Inanimate objects are just inanimate objects. And it's funny, I started to realize that I actually believe that there was spirit in everything when my laptop freezes and I'm doing a molecular cure on it and it fixes it. When any kind of object in my home, any kind of appliance or whatever, I talk to it. It's like, look, I don't want to replace you. We've been together for 30 years or whatever. It's like, unplug, wait, say a little prayer over it, plug it back in, and it works. Tell me that thing is not alive. Because what other explanation is there? So am I an expert? Hell no. Forget it. Don't come to me for expertise. But I can share with you my experience that everything is alive. Why is it you feel bad? Let's say you have this couch this sofa that you've had for 20 years. Why does it break your heart when you go to put it out on the curb? Because that sofa has spirit. It also carries the energy and the memories of everything that spirit witnessed in your home.
Yes.
So, oh my God, I'm going to make it so that nobody throws anything out anymore. But
Well, there was
rediscovering this is so. If you stop for a moment, I'm sorry I interrupted you. That's so freaking rude. I apologize. It's not that something we learn. You don't have to go and learn it, but it's more like rediscovering who you were before the world told you who you had to be.
That's right. And I see in chats, this comes up a lot. When Ramon, he does his show where he interviews people. Bobby and CELINA do theirs where they interview people, and they always ask, and kind of like what I asked you in the beginning, how did you come to this, right? And it always comes to a point, I think, for many of us, when we realize that we were magical as children, and then
we all were.
We were taught to not be magical.
And what brings us back? Darkness. Something bad happened to us. That's what brings us back.
Interesting.
There's a little food for thought, because folk magic is the magic of the people, right? It's the magic of survival. And for our ancestors, since the beginning, since the dawn of time, it was the last resort. Their survival depended on it. So us modern day people that were not being chased by predators, or you know what I mean, or our village isn't being stormed or whatever like that, we may have different circumstances, but the human experience has not changed. Well, if anyone who has hit the wall and feeling powerless
Mm.
has left whatever religion they were raised in to look for something else.
Yes.
And when you feel like you're out of control, when you feel like you're helpless, when you feel like your back is up against the wall and there is no way out, that's when it wakes up. That's when, and that is like not even cultural. That is just human. That's how I feel. For me, it's like I turned to witchcraft. I explored witchcraft because it was sexy when I was a teenager.
Mm.
What's more sexy than, come on, witchcraft?
You grew up in the era of charm.
I got beat. So, but I became a practitioner for survival.
Mm. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that, or is it too personal?
Well, no. Well, for survival, it's like, when you can't find a job, I graduated nursing and couldn't find a job. It was straight into a recession. There were no jobs. When the year I graduated nursing, they closed 11 hospitals in Montreal. One of them was the one that hired me right out of school.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, so to show you that, like, that the first, I think the first thing we all end up doing, I don't even think, when we're teenagers and we're just messing around, it's for love.
That's true.
When we hit hardship, it's for survival, it's for job, it's for money, it's for, you know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. So that's an example of turning to like folk magic for that. Doesn't matter if we don't call it anything.
Right.
It's human nature to beseech your spirits to come to your aid when the world fucking lets you down. So yeah, that's my point of view from that. So do you want to inject a little levity? I have some questions here that some people wanted.
But that was beautiful what you said, and I think it resonates with a lot of people.
I think we can all relate, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all relate, especially if we're all hanging out here together tonight. I think we all relate.
Yes. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. By the way, I love that I'm sitting on this throne here. I feel
come
like
una regina, ma guarda. Guarda, come una regina.
I moved from the other room to here. I mean, I just kicked my husband out of the living room to go into the other room, but I'm looking as you're talking, I'm like, but I like this look.
It's a great look on you. It's like your throne.
It's my throne.
The queen. I like it.
Yes.
Especially when you relax. I said, oh my God, that regal demeanor. Okay. I have some papers here. Okay.
Go ahead.
So,
I love it.
So shadow reader.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get writer's block? If so, how did you get through it? Did I ever get writer's block? Oh, my whole freaking life is writer's block. Yes. I do get writer's block. And the more I force myself to sit down and to push through it. No, that's not what works for me. But maybe I'll share with you what works for me. But it takes some doing. It's like knocking over a vending machine. You got to rock it back and forth a few times. Mm-hmm. I step away from the writing implements, whether it's the laptop or I do a lot of my writing longhand, like in my grimoire and stuff like that. And then I'm all salty because I got to type. I have to transcribe it onto the laptop. But that's neither here nor there. Just have conversations with yourself when you hit writer's block. Have conversations with yourself. Just be ready to audio record the conversations you have with yourself. Because I started with having the conversations with myself, and to just immerse myself in the world that I wanted to write about, or the topic that I wanted to write about, and the energy of it. Sometimes I'll watch content on YouTube that is adjacent, that just allows me to rest my own mind and just watch. So for instance, funny story, when I was writing Italian folk magic to relax, I used to watch tarot content. So that's how I came to tarot tube. um, and just don't force it, but be prepared, because oh my gosh, so much I lost. There's so much lost between, oh my gosh, I'm there, I got it, and if you don't write it down in the moment, and you don't record, or you don't audio record it, I got to tell you, for me, it's lost forever. So I hope that's helpful, but a lot of it has to do with the pressure makes the block worse. The and I struggle under deadlines. My whole everything about what I do is deadline dependent. So I'm a little, I can't, deadlines freak me out. So if you can find a way to figure out what it is that, because block is normal. We're cyclical, just like nature. You know what I mean? In the winter, everything has to lie fallow for a while, right? So that then things can grow in the spring. It's the same thing I feel with our creativity.
Yes, I agree with you.
And it's not just for writing. I think it's for any kind of creativity. Another question here. Oh, also from Shadow Reader. Do you have a favorite or two favorite hot drinks this time of year? So I'm a coffee drinker. I like my really strong espresso roast coffee in a big mug, the way that the Italians would not approve.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite, I love tea, Bengal spice tea. That one is like, you can buy it at the supermarket. It's Celestial Seasonings. So those are two. And let me see. I don't know. That's it, I think. Is it? Oh, what decks was I using at the beginning? I already answered that one. Yeah? Okay. I've run out of.
So let me ask you, because.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is one. Why the spitting? Why do we spit, Ms. Tarot D, when to dispel the Magliocco, or when why do we spit after we were complimented, or
You know what? To me, I always thought it was because we're spitting at the devil.
I think so too.
Because you spit down.
You spit, yeah. You spit at evil. Yeah. Stay down, you bitch. Yeah.
That's the spit. Yeah, I mean, it was disgusting during COVID, but how? Tell me, how does because your husband, who's a dear, brought you the questions? Is he also into the esoteric world?
Not at all.
You in this? What is that like for you?
Not at all.
What are your support systems?
He is so.
You have children, right? You have children.
Yes. So my husband is not magical at all. Like he doesn't do the stuff that we do at all. But he's extremely supportive. He's supportive of whatever it is that I'm doing. And his quote is, he's just decided to find it charming. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I live in a very supportive environment. I have two daughters. They're in their early 20s, and I didn't raise my kids, like I didn't indoctrinate them. I know that's a strong word, but it fits. I didn't indoctrinate them. I allowed them to be their own people, and they just witnessed what I do, and they
Mm.
each have their own flavor of what they do, like magically. And I don't, yeah, I didn't tell them this is how you do it or anything like that. It was osmosis,
Mhm.
but also they developed their own way of living in the world magically.
Yeah, I was just Thanksgiving last weekend was a very interesting time. So we're the only ones here in the States. My whole family's in Europe.
Oh wow, your whole family's still in. Okay.
And both my parents passed, and my older brother just passed a couple of years ago during COVID. So there's not too many of us here. And when my siblings got older, they moved up to the suburbs. So I joke and I say their kids are just white. They're American. The only thing Italian about them is they say that they're Italian and that their
Yeah.
mother might have made pasta on a Sunday. Other than that, not much. Uh, and it was nice because for Thanksgiving, and it's been a while since my husband and I have been able to go and spend time with them for Thanksgiving because of my health.
Hmm.
And my niece, who's my goddaughter, and she's the favorite, and everybody knows she's the favorite ever since she was small. And you would think she was more like my daughter than just my goddaughter. We're two peas in a pod. And we were sitting around the table, and she said, "It hasn't felt like Thanksgiving in a long time." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she says, "Oh, because we usually eat and watch TV, fall asleep, maybe play a game." But she said, "This year," she says, "it felt like family." Because, meaning Uncle Hector and I were there, and
Yeah.
telling them the stories about family in Italy, growing up, how we are here. And they know Uncle is a little witchy. They don't know everything I do. And now they're all young adults now, so I can
Yeah.
expose them more. But and we were started talking. My niece was telling me about somebody problem she had with a coworker, and obviously I said, "Well, we should just do a binding spell." And she's like, "What's that?" And part of me, I almost said, "Oh, I'll take care of that for you." And then I caught myself, and I said, "Well, you can do this, this, this."
Brava.
And I said, I said, "You really should learn about Italian folk magic." And by that same night, I was on Amazon having your book shipped to her, the first one. Everybody's buying your book, just so you know. Half of the people in chat have books.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you all. I really appreciate it.
And I sent this to her, and she's been like digesting it like crazy because I told her, I said, "You have to read this book. It's not going to just teach you like magic and spells. It's going to teach you about our heritage, our community." I said, the author, she could have grown up on Arthur Avenue with me and your dad and grandma and grandpa. I mean, this is a part of our. And I tell people, if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. So it was very important for me to really, really get them to start understand this isn't just Charmed on TV or something like that. This is part of who we are.
Yeah.
This is your culture.
Yeah. It's not something we do.
Right.
It's what you just said. It is who we are.
Who you are. And I've been watching on chat. I mean, look, the Fable Witch, she's been resonating with a lot of what we've been saying. And she has Italian heritage, and she was reading Scopa cards or trying to. I mean, there's a lot of people. And even what I love about your second book, plug for the second book, and this is 2.0, simply because what we're talking about, what Mary Grace has been talking about, it's not just contained to Italians. And this is what her second book is about. She talks about it, how folk magic is in every culture. And it's a way for every person, no matter what your nationality is, to get back in touch with your culture and your roots and your ancestry work. And she has things in here from spells from different countries, from different ethnic backgrounds. It's beautiful. It's beautiful because she literally, from this book, she takes you from growing up. It's almost like this is from 0 to senior year in high school. And then you graduate high school and you go off to college and you start meeting people from around the world. And your worldview.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
And
Thank you.
expands, you know? It's true. That's how I saw it when I read it. It's almost like this is the fool's journey. This is the fool's journey, right? Or, the 0 to 10. And then this starts you out at the my brain, the chemo brain. The card before the night is called the
Page.
The page. See the brain. So this
I got your back.
Thank you. I love you. So this takes you like you're a page again, where you've learned a lot, and now you're learning something more and something different. It just expands you, it expands your magic. And what it also does, I love it because you help people to celebrate the differences. Okay, we come to the YouTube community, and I call it. I was going to talk about this. The word paisan,
Yeah.
paisan, somebody who came from your village, right?
Yeah.
And now with YouTube, that word, the village, is expanded.
Yeah.
The Tara community is now, so all the people in Tara community are your paisans and paisanas. But you show, like, while we come to this for seeking people who share similarities in our tribes, we also learn to appreciate everybody's differences.
Yeah.
And how learning those differences, we grow. We grow as human beings, as spirit. And we learn to be more inclusive and more loving and more kind human beings, And that's what I loved about your book when I read it, because I was like, yes, this is where the magical community needs to move to. Stop putting things in boxes, stop putting things in label. Once again, this is the I, this is Miss Taradeep. This, if you're comfortable with that, God bless you, go do it. But if we can stop labeling and stop putting judgments on things and appreciate somebody's differences and learn from that, we are creating a more beautiful world to live in, a world of acceptance, a world of beauty, And I'm sorry, I get on my soapbox because, I always tell people one thing I love is when people are their authentic self.
Yeah.
Your authentic self, and allow others to be their authentic self. And it's so beautiful. Earlier I mentioned Bobby and CELINA, Ramon. They do these interview segments. And they've interviewed several of the people that are in chat today. And I love them because those interviews, like yourself tonight, you allowed yourself to be your authentic self, your beautiful self. You share things that, you are a global authority.
Oh my goodness.
Folk magic. You really are. You're an author. But I'm sure everybody in chat will agree with me. Listening to you tonight and being with you tonight, you felt like home, like a friend,
Oh, thank you.
right? I mean, so yeah. So I mean, this is what I loved about your books. This is about what I love about what you're putting out there in your content.
Thank you.
That you were just creating pathways for people to just get in touch with their ancestry, no matter where they come from.
Yeah. And even if you don't know your ancestry, well, where you were born, where you live, the spirits of the land, where you are, they're your spirits.
Yes.
So don't feel bad. Like, you don't need to be descendant of whatever. And look at where you are. Every one of us, where we live, there's folklore of where we live.
Yes.
Every one of us, there's spirits in the land where we live.
Yes.
And there's no reason. Okay, well, I understand when people feel alone and feel disconnected, and it's because they forget that they belong to the land where they live.
Mm. 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 Very, very powerful. Very powerful. We are Can you believe we're going on 2 hours?
Yeah, if we were in the same house right now, we would like move the camera so we could start cooking something. Because that's what Italians do. It doesn't matter what time it is.
It's so true. Oh my God. It's so, so true, Or, it's like a plate of cookies would come out or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
out of the blue. It's 10 o'clock at night, but somebody would still make a cup of coffee.
Well, I want to ask you this.
Yes.
So there was this custom when I was growing up, and I only saw this with, the grown-ups when I was growing up. We would go every Saturday night. We would go to one of, we would do the different house. One Saturday it was Tia Maria's house. Another Saturday it was Kumara, Maria's house or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And everybody would congregate there, and depending on who was hosting, they would be making pizza dough on Saturday, rising all day to then throw pizza in the oven and pizza frita and all this stuff, and sitting around the table, the men would be playing cards. It'd be like a thick cloud of smoke in the house.
Yeah, we used to smoke a lot.
And everybody knew it was time to go home when the coffee pot went on at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
That was the signal. There was no awkward conversation. There was no everybody get out. No. When the coffee, facciamo il caffè, we're gonna have coffee now. Everybody agreed. That means it was time to wind things up.
And yes.
I missed that in my life. I didn't get to do that.
Yes. That happened at my house too, and I've actually done it here. We've had company, and they were kind of staying a little late. And I was like, "Okay, does anybody want coffee? Are we ready for coffee?" In other words, like, let's go, let's get out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, the charm. I mean, I remember growing up, and on Saturdays the doors would always be open. Now, people have to understand, this is the 70s when the Bronx was burning. And yet this Little Italy in the Bronx, if anybody ever comes to New York, don't go to Little Italy on Mott Street in Manhattan. That's nothing. That's nothing. Come to the Bronx. It's huge. It's called Arthur Avenue. You'll love it. It's the real thing. Still is. But we felt safe enough in our community to leave the doors open. And you would go up in a building and everybody have their doors, and everybody would ask you if you wanted a cookie or if you wanted coffee. And then on Saturdays, this is back in the 70s, we used to make our own pasta.
Yeah.
My mother had special linen in a drawer.
Oh my God, the special linen.
And it was only used to put on the table and the chairs
to dry the pasta.
And when I tell people this, when I tell my nieces and nephews this, they just can't believe it. They're like, really? Yeah. There's
The
certain
70s, man, the 70s.
Bobby had a question. Bobby, do you want to repost your question? Selena, can you help Bobby find Bobby's question and try to help me post it or something? I think Tom was supposed to be my background person. I think he fell asleep. He's so cute. Oh, wait, here it is. How do you view deities?
Oh, that's a little bit of a hairy one. Okay, I'll bite. So I'll start with, so I left the Catholic Church. I was 12. Without making it too long of a story, I was in choir. I went to mass every Sunday. I did, it was a very community thing. But someone dear to me came out as gay, and then suddenly hell broke loose, and I didn't want to go there anymore because they rejected someone who was dear to me. And I didn't understand because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense how he was treated versus what we were being taught. It didn't make sense how he was treated and the gospel on Sunday. What the fuck, right? So I just felt like everybody was lying, and I left. So that's how I feel about religion. But I took everything with me, my saints, La Madonna. I took all that stuff with me. I just have, the church is like long, we broke up like 45 years ago. Anyway, when I was exploring different, spiritualities and stuff like that, and people were, a lot of people of my culture are looking. Some of them tried to do Reconstructionist Religio Romana, or others were, looking to the Roman pantheon or the Greek pantheon, because la stessa cosa. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, right? And so I tried that too. And they wanted nothing to do with me. When you approach a spirit, when you approach a god or a goddess or any spirit, when they want nothing to do with you. It's cold. You're left feeling cold, like there's nothing there. So I, of course, tried that out. So I don't feel that I never connected to deity. But it's complicated because I'm still connected to God, La Madonna, to the black La Madonna Nera. The Black Madonna is even stronger in my spiritual life. And La Madonna Nera, the Black Madonna, that could be a whole 2-hour thing. Like, you know what I mean? Is a different energy. It's not Mother Mary, the Blessed Virgin, the 14-year-old girl. It's a completely different energy. It's a very strong and fierce energy.
You should do a whole video on that on your channel.
We could probably do a whole video on that. You and me could talk about it, because that would be amazing. So I have spirit. So how do I view deity? Kind of not. It's more that it's everything. There's spirit in everything and in everyone and in everything that's living, animate and inanimate. And I can connect to that. I can connect to saints, because saints are ancestors. They used to be human, and therefore they totally get us, because human problems have not changed. The technology has changed, but our problems remain the same. So so I connect with saints because they used to be human and they understand the human condition. I connect with certain archangels because they saved my bacon when I was dabbling in shit that was like inexperienced and unsafe dabbling in.
You hear that,
Um,
Bobby? Mhm.
huh? Pardon me?
No, Bobby has a whole story about dabbling with shit when he wasn't ready.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
And yeah. Uh, sorry. Um, and so I feel so this is what I tell people, okay? When someone comes to me and says, Grace, you know what? It's like, I feel like I'm a magical person. I'm a magical practitioner. See, I refer to myself as a practitioner. I don't even, no adjective, just like no other adjective. Because the second I label myself, I change.
It's
And
true.
right?
We evolve, we grow. Yes, I agree.
The second we figure out what we are, we've already outgrown it.
Yes.
And we move on to something else.
Yes.
So so I just call myself a practitioner, and and that's it. Like, because and I really recommend everyone do that. Just be free.
Yes.
Be free. Because how do I view deity? Well, one day, Odin will approach me or whatever. I'll see signs of Odin. Am I Scandinavian? No. But if the spirit makes themselves present, then I will interact with them. So for me, it's a little complicated. And to be brutally honest, most of the time when I'm interacting with spirit, I don't even know who the fuck I'm interacting with. They don't announce themselves. They don't tell me my name is Bob or my name is, Ted, or they don't. Shirley. You know what I mean? Like, it's so that too, I guess that makes me kind of weird, because I always feel like other people totally have their shit together because, they have their matron goddess and their altars and all this stuff. And it's like, no, I don't need. I'm just grateful somebody shows up and helps me out. I'm just grateful somebody's listening and bailing me out and and providing me support when I'm feeling like I need to be supported. But oh my gosh, I have no freaking idea who it is most of the time. So sorry, that was like totally not helpful.
No, well, Bobby, you asked the question. Was that helpful? And by the way, you have to meet Bobby one day. He's
My name is Bob, and don't call me Shirley.
yeah. So, I was asking you about your husband because my husband is not into any of this either.
I was going to ask you too.
Yes, but he's such a beautiful, supportive person. When I was gonna stop doing drag, he's like, "No, keep doing it. It makes you happy. I promise I'll do your face because I can't see to do my own makeup."
Yeah.
He says, "Whenever you want it, I'll do your makeup."
So lovely.
And you saw even tonight when everything was going down, he came into the living room and he set everything up here for me.
Swooped in and fixed it.
Yeah, and he's also very handsome. He's very sexy. When you said tall, dark hair, I was like, "Oh, you've seen my husband."
So is mine. Are we going to compete?
Right?
My husband is a handsome too.
But for some reason, my husband really connected with Bobby. And whenever Bobby's on, my husband signs on to get a reading. He doesn't want a reading from me. He doesn't want a reading from no one else. He's like, "Oh, Bobby's on. I need a reading from Bobby."
Yeah, the energy jives.
Yeah, they jive. Bobby's hysterical. One day you have to. Everybody, I think, on YouTube loves Bobby. You have to meet Bobby. He's a wonderful human.
Well, I'm gonna have to now.
Yes, he's a beautiful person. But I know he was. Bobby is a devotee of. I'm going to say this wrong, Bobby. Please forgive me. Hectica. Did I say it right?
Who, Hecate, the Greek goddess?
Hecate. Yes, and Santa Muerte,
and Santa Muerte.
you know. And I just love, I don't follow a deity either. There's a whole reason why, but I just love the way my friends who do follow deities, I love the way they do it. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
like my fantasy self,
Yeah,
like I look at that and I think, oh, I wish I could. I'm just not wired that way.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I won't keep you long because are you okay? I don't
I'm
want you
fine. Are
to.
you okay?
I'm,
Let's keep
I'm, I'm happy.
let's keep
I don't
going
know if you
then.
know this, right? A lot of people on YouTube know. I used to be a monk. I was a Franciscan.
See, this doesn't surprise me because
Yes.
everyone that I've connected with, like I
Uh-huh.
have with you, has that background.
Yeah. Mhm.
Has we're either in the seminary or yeah. I'm not surprised.
And I did. I left the order just because when I had to make my final vows, I was too young, and I said, no, 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 I can't make a lifelong commitment. And I'm one of these people, and I still am to this day. I don't make a promise unless I know I could keep it forever.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to make a promise to God, to the universe, that I knew I was too young. And what happened in 10, 20, 30 years, you know, I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to be celibate. I would feel terrible. So I left. But the group that I was with, what I loved about them was, because before I became a brother, I was very, very, you grew up Italian, you grew up in this very conservative kind of mindset and the belief systems that the
It's very
Catholic Church,
claustrophobic.
yes, you know, and but the group, they were Franciscan brothers and here in the South Bronx. And they were very, very liberal and progressive, you know. Our church had female altar servers. This is before that was allowed, and female Eucharistic ministers before it was allowed. Like, and I remember once we were doing home visits to the elderly, and it's like, oh, why are we seeing Miss So and So? She's not a Catholic, and it was like the floor dropped out, and they looked at me. And they said, "Really, really?" They're like, "You think only Catholics go to heaven?" They said, "There are many roads to God. And it doesn't matter if you're Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Muslim, atheist." And I'm sitting there and I'm like, these beautiful, holy men are teaching me something different than the regular Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And yet teaches. And yet they literally live the gospel. Like
Yeah.
in regards to poverty and everything. We had mats that we slept on because they all learned from Mother Teresa. So we slept on mats, and every 3 months we changed rooms. So I was like, so when I left, I didn't leave the Franciscans. That actually stayed in my heart. I left because I was too young, but then eventually I left the Catholic Church for the same reasons. I just, of their belief systems around women and, everything else, gays. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not me. But one thing why I think I never connected or wanted to devote myself to a deity, and once again, this is for me, it's the I, is that what some deities put rules and conditions about what you can and cannot do. And I lived that life already for 3-4 years where I couldn't do this and couldn't do that. So I don't want to have myself and my spirituality stagnant by a spirituality that might ask me. And this is, here in the Bronx, Santeria is very, very big. And people are always coming to me saying, oh, you are crowned by Yamaya or Shango, or this, and that. You should join this, and that. I'm like, no, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I give honor, praise, and respect to all the deities. I would never disrespect somebody's deity.
Same.
I come to your house and you tell me you can do this, absolutely. But I can't, because I don't want to follow rules and regulations that I may not be able to honor long term.
That is beautifully put. And you actually coaxed me into opening up a little bit more about this because I don't talk about this much. I, I went rogue after I left the church, and I am the boss of me.
Mhm.
And I think what you touched on is when you dedicate yourself to a deity, you are subservient to that deity. You serve that deity. I could already feel my Leo energy bristling under this. You serve. It's a life of service. And when people and this again, everybody does what they want, but when people use the term they work with a god or they work with a goddess, I'm not sure everyone's saying the same thing.
Mhm.
Working with a spirit means they dictate and you do the work in the physical world. You fetch and carry. That's what working for a deity, working with a deity. You're not really working with them. You're working for them because you're in the physical world and you fetch and carry in the physical world. And I don't mean this in a negative way either. You know what I mean? Like if I were to devote myself, let's say to, oh my gosh, let me give an example of St. Anthony. Suppose I
Yes.
were to devote myself to St. Anthony and say, St. Anthony is my patron saint, and I work with St. Anthony. I'd have to be helping people find lost keys, find lost objects, find themselves. I would have to be embodying that spirit to do their work in this world. That's what that means. It's a huge responsibility, man. So I'm not proud of myself when I say, yeah, I don't really have,
Mhm.
I don't really have like a deity or whatever. I don't say it with pride or hubris or anything like that. It's to be brutally honest, it's a huge responsibility.
It really is. It
And
really is.
like you said, you have to make a promise. What if I can't keep that promise?
Yes. Yes.
Then what?
Yes. You know. And I mean, I love to learn all about them. They're
Me too.
beautiful, you know?
And I will consult them.
Yes.
And they're very welcoming. Ask anyone who's consulted any spirits. They are very welcoming. Just like if you have a friend, like I had, like I was, like, I had a neighbor who practiced Santeria. And when I needed help, her spirits were very welcoming to me because she was working for them, doing their work in the world, and she was helping me. This is, you can't, like with blanket statements, we can't just say, oh, that's appropriation, or that, it's very nuanced. And when you get down to the actual practice of things, we don't all come from the same freaking village, man. It's like, like we all, like you said, diversity and different cultures and different religions and different magical practices. And there's a cross pollination, I like to call it, where we interact with people. When I interacted with that person who practiced Santeria, I took some of that with me.
Mhm.
That became part of me. Um, Not in the manner that she served her spirits.
Risha. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it.
You don't have to. You can.
Yeah,
We have
I'm trying to keep
multiple.
trying to keep the language bland. Um, not in the way she does at all, but they helped me through her.
Mhm.
And this gets lost. This is why we need to come together. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Our different cultures, our different magical practices, our different deities, spirits, orishas, elwas, you know what I mean? All that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, my gosh. I Also, like where I grew up, yeah, we were 90% Italian, and then we had Cuban immigrants, Haitian immigrants. So like, you have the voodoo, and you have like, the where those I loved my neighbors. They were 99% Catholic and 100% voodoo, So that's how they describe themselves, right?
Yeah.
They were 200 they were 199%, man, plugged in.
Yeah, I mean, so he's not on tonight, and one day you'll meet him too, because everybody loves Ramon Moonscaro, and he has one of the best video series on learning the tarot. I mean, it's beautiful, the whole beginning to end. So Ramon went to Mexico, and CELINA, if you could help me write the person's name, Doña, I can't remember her name. But she's basically the godmother for the world for Santa Muerte. And he got to meet her in person. And he while he was there meeting with her, they did a little video. Well, there it is. How do you say that, Doña Cueta? There it is.
Cueta.
Do you see it?
Yeah, Doña Cueta.
To see this video of his meeting with her was so beautiful. And her devotion and her love, you could feel it radiating out of her. Like, she's somebody who I would say, when she passes, she could be a saint. She should be, the magic that she's put out in the world, the miracle, the love, everything, and it's beautiful, so this is my belief is, like I said, I might not have my own deity, but I love to meet other people's deities and to see that devotion and that love, because once you have that, you resonate that to others.
I also feel, Ms. Taradi, that just because we're not there now,
right,
that doesn't mean that won't change, right? Like, who knows? We may wake up one day and our focus changes.
Yeah.
Maybe we do meet the one, or maybe the deity that wants us to do their work in the world for them will knock on our door and say, "Hey."
Yeah. And like I said, I don't follow deity, but I can understand, like, part of Santa Muerte is you learn not to fear death, and death is beautiful.
Yeah.
And having to come through my own mortality with the cancer, I totally get that.
Yeah.
And I literally get it, because when I got diagnosed, people kept saying, "Do you have a bucket list?" And I said, "No." And they're like, "Well, what do you mean no?" I said, "I have no regrets. Like, everything, I've traveled the world. I've met the love of my life. I've opened up a program that's very unique. And to me, it's like the last one I want to run before I retire. I'm ready to die. Death doesn't scare me. So when I hear about deities like Santa Muerte, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's beautiful. Death can be beautiful. I
get it too.
The only reason why I don't want to die is because I enjoy my husband. I want to spend more time with him. That's it. But so it's when you talk to people and you learn about things, it helps you also to really understand you. And who you are as a person, All right. So I'm feeling tired. We spent almost 2.5 hours.
Look at us go.
I spent all week not wondering what I was going to say, but I was like, how do I put this together? Because my brain was going all over the place.
I think you did it beautifully.
And then you were on somebody. John.
Yeah, John Michael. Yeah, I was on with John Michael. Yeah, I love him.
Beautiful. Oh. And I was like, well, she just did this a month ago. I don't want her to feel bored that it's like, the same thing. I was like, how, but I'm glad, You felt comfortable.
Oh, this is my favorite subject. I could talk about this like all the time. I don't really have that many people to talk about it with
Well,
either,
here
right?
you have a whole community. Everybody's saying how wonderful you are. And I think CELINA, who's been amazing, CELINA, you posted her link, right, for her channel and her.
Thank you for
CELINA's-
thank you for taking care of us, Sabina.
She's what she's. I have the honor where she calls me her godmother.
Yeah, madrina.
Bridget has also adopted me as her godmother, so thank you so much.
And I would like to call you my kumara.
You are, and you're my godmother. You know,
Oh my God.
I was so
I
honored.
love you,
that you said
kumara.
that to me. It was this the first interview you had with a drag queen?
Yes. Like interview like this, yes.
So with a drag queen, good.
Yes. So you're my first.
I'm your first drag queen. It's
Yes, you're my first drag queen.
You know, it's almost like meeting RuPaul.
Oh, I did meet RuPaul.
You did.
I used to work for MAC Makeup back in the 80s. And some like late 80s, early 90s around there. And RuPaul did my makeup. Yeah. Yeah, during the whole Viva Glam thing, when the release of the lipsticks to raise money for AIDS research.
Yes.
Yeah, I was there at the very beginning of that. I was just some girl who worked at the makeup shop who was learning how to do makeup and stuff. And yeah, RuPaul did my makeup.
Wow. I'm jealous now. I'm jealous. You know. All right. So before I let you go, do you want to tell the community what else is coming down the line for you? What are you into? Where do you think you want to go?
I don't know. So I am working on another project.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do the corne and all this stuff. So yeah, there's a third book that's in the works. Not quite sure what. See, I don't know what I'm making until it's finished. It's like that with everything, crafting, art, cooking. Usually, I start out with a plan, and I just let it take me where it wants to go, where it wants to take me. So, yeah, I don't even know what it's gonna be, but I'm pretty excited to see what it's gonna be.
I think we're all excited to see what that's going to be like too, you know? And in the meantime, I really highly suggest her books. I mean, really.
Oh, thank you.
Like I said, especially the first one, to me, it's become my little Bible. You have so much in here. And then the second one, I don't know if you could see it, but like I literally write notes all over it.
So I wrote the first one because I was afraid I was gonna forget, and I did forget a lot. Like it's not all in there, but the first one I wrote because I was afraid I was gonna forget this stuff we grew up with, right? Because everybody was dying, there's nobody to ask. So like furiously writing stuff down, right? And the second one I wrote because this might sound a little morose or whatever, but I am a little macabre. I'm a little, it's like is what if I forgot who I was? What if I got dementia? I wrote the book to remind me of what kind of stuff I believed in, what kind of stuff, what I thought about, what interested me,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love that, So I believe, obviously, I'm the ancestor for my descendants.
Yes, you are.
So what I've been doing, especially, the last 3 years, I have pictures of my nieces and nephews when they were babies. I have photos of the I have a photo of my great, great, great uncles. And it's not even a photo. It's one, you know how they used to do them like in chalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
One of those of my uncles from, I guess, the war of the unification of Italy or something like that. That's how old this is. And I'm the only one that has it. And I made prints and given them. So what I've been doing is for each of my nieces and nephews, I've been making their own file with all their photos, and the genealogy, the
My
family tree,
gosh, what a
and
gift.
so, like you said, it's not so that I don't forget; it's so that they don't forget.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just that, yeah, you said it better than I did. It was because, like you could, storytelling is how we pass things on, right? But then what if you start with time, you forget
Forget.
if you don't write them down. So that's wonderful that you're doing that. That's beautiful, man. Pictures and everything, and it's like,
You know,
holy,
and just yeah, because I'll say it. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going.
yeah,
And this is why it's important that we teach the young ones heritage. And I tell people, like, I'm a queer man in New York City. I lived through the AIDS crisis. I was part of ACT UP. All these things where the young queer community, they don't know about that struggle.
no,
They don't know what we had to do for basic rights. My
yeah,
husband and I, all the marches, we marched in Washington, we marched all over. We marched for marriage equality. We were the first gay couple to get married in the Bronx.
that's fantastic.
So to me, it's
That's historical. Yeah.
like we were part of history, and you want the younger generation to know that and appreciate that. Because if you don't, then, well, we see it now, not to get political, any government can come in and take all your rights away.
Yeah.
And if you've always taken it for granted, but if you know the struggle and the sacrifice to get that, you're going to fight even harder to keep it.
Exactly. You're going to fight even harder because you know what it took to get it to where it was. You want to keep it where it is. You want to keep it there.
That's right. That's right. All right. So we're going to say goodnight to the chatterers. You and I are going to stay for 2 more minutes after the show.
Okay.
But on behalf of everyone, I want to thank you so much. This was a beautiful experience. I was so excited.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no. And everyone.
Thank you to everyone in the chat who showed up. And oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And if you get a chance, Mary Grace, go back and rewatch it because there's some lovely, lovely comments that people wrote to you. And, so I'm sure they would like for you to see what they've been saying. Everybody just fell in love with you all over again.
Oh my goodness.
All right, bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.